Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Earlier this evening, when we did our Golden Girls coffee clutch, I mentioned that I was going to be dropping a video kind of describing the 12th Amendment in the US Constitution. Now, a couple things that I want to say up front. Number one, I'm not a US citizen. I'm not even in the US. But I think I know a little more about your Constitution than a lot of you guys do. So bear with me and indulge me as I explain to you why not voting or casting your vote for a third party candidate is a horrible, horrible idea. And I'll explain to you where it might lead. So sit back and hopefully um, this will be enlightening. So I'm going to start off, first of all, by saying, oh, wait, first I forgot. I need to put my banner on to let you know that this is for entertainment purposes only because, as I say, what do I know? I'm just a woman online reading tarot cards and expressing opinions and views, right? Okay. So let's go back to 2016 when America had a choice between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And most people knew, I think, that Donald Trump was not the way to go. Um, he was very bombastic and very uh, outlandish in a lot of the things that he did. He hasn't gotten any better with time. Okay. So this is something that I had in my phone, and it was one of the memes that was going around. And I think it's a really, really good place to start in terms of me being able to um, explain what happens next. Okay, so I wish that I could do the share screen and all that. I don't know how to do any of that. I tried to look it up, it wasn't working. So you're going to get a picture instead. Okay, there you go. This is the meme that I kept. 65 million people voted Democrat, 62 million people voted Republican, and 108 million people decided that their vote didn't count for anything. So what happened? You got a Republican president. You got Donald Trump. So even though Hillary got more votes than he did, um, with the gerrymandering and everything else that went on, well, that kind of put Trump in office. Okay, so what does that have to do with today and what could happen in 2024? Okay, I'll tell you what. The American Constitution and all its amendments are, um, it's kind of like wading through a pool because there's an amendment and then there's an amendment to the amendment and so on and so forth. So basically, for those of you that maybe don't know, the 12th Amendment deals with basically how a president is elected. And the rules that govern, who gets the most votes and all that kind of stuff. And also brings in the electoral college, and it's a mess. So if I was a Republican right now and I was trying to determine how, excuse me, how I could remain in power, knowing that we're not very popular. We're being led by a guy that Yeah, he has his base, his supporters, but really, for the most part, people don't like him. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that the current Democrat that's in power, Joe Biden, is seen as weak, ineffectual. He's a dodding old man. He trips. He mixes his words up. You don't want that kind of leader. You want the kind of leader we have. The guy that wants to end healthcare, that wants to take away Social Security, the guy who wants to be king. He really, really, truly does want to be king of America, King Donald. Well, chances are very good that people aren't going to vote for King Donald. So I've got to figure out a way how I can get him in power without really getting him in power. And how do I ensure that even though he may not get the votes, he gets in? Well, okay, here's where the 12th Amendment comes in. After the election, when all the votes are counted, if nobody has the 270 votes needed to get in, guess who gets to make the decision about who becomes president? Would you be shocked if I told you it's the Republicans? It is. Because the way that it works is if nobody gets to 270, if there isn't a clear winner, then it goes to the House of Representatives. Goodness gracious. Imagine the House of Representatives right now has a very slight majority, but it's a Republican majority. So I can get my guy in through the back door. You don't have to vote for him. Here's how I'm going to do this. I am going to encourage you that you may not like our guy. The Democrat, no, you don't want him either. Tell you what you do. Your voice needs to be heard. So you need to vote for a third-party candidate. Someone who is kind of middle of the road. He's not a Joe Biden, and he's not a Donald Trump. He's kind of a middle of the road guy. That's where you want to put your vote. That's where you want to cast your vote. Not only that, you kind of get to stick it to the man a little bit by doing that, don't you? Because, you're still participating. You're still voting. You can feel good about the fact that you voted. You just didn't vote for who they wanted you to vote. You voted for the third-party guy, whoever that might be, however many of them that might be. So every time that they encourage you to vote for that third-party candidate, it is a vote that you take away from Joe Biden. Could be a vote you take away from Donald Trump. But if I get you to take all those votes away from Joe Biden and there isn't a clear winner, then I get to decide who gets to be president. And aren't I very clever? So that's what the 12th Amendment allows for. And I think it's a good idea, if you have an opportunity, read up on your Constitution. You don't have to read all of it. Just read the main parts. Just know what it is that your government is capable of doing, and what it is that people like Steve Bannon, entertainment purposes only, YouTube, Steve Bannon, Steve Miller, what's his name, Leo, and you think they're sitting back trying to figure out how they're going to get votes for Donald Trump? It doesn't matter. They don't have to get votes for Donald Trump. All they have to do is convince enough of you to vote for that third party candidate, to vote for someone like, let's say, Joe Manchin, to vote for Kennedy. There you go. Here's someone who, can offer you things that maybe the other two can't. Right? It's not a democratic thing. I mean, Democrats come in and they try to do the kumbaya thing and make everyone happy, and then the Republicans have to come in and say, well, let's be reasonable. Let's talk about finances. Let's look at all these things. And it goes back and forth and back and forth. And really, they don't really ever get a whole lot accomplished. But that third party candidate guy, he just might do it. He just, maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's what we need, is that third party guy. So, in a roundabout way, when you're encouraged to either not vote because they're all the same, they're all politicians, they're all dirty, or whether you're told to, look after yourself, you vote for that third party guy. He doesn't have all the baggage that comes with being either a Democrat or a Republican. He just comes in and, he wants to be a good civil servant. He wants to serve. So, maybe why not give the guy a chance, right? When you consider how many people are going to vote for someone like Kennedy, who are going to vote for someone, let's say, like Joe Manchin, who hasn't really announced, but anyway. You know what I mean? The third party guys, there's going to be a whole slew of them that are going to be there. Every time that you vote for one of them, it's a vote that you take away from Joe Biden. And it's a vote that you inadvertently give to Trump, even though you might say, nope, not going to vote for Trump, not going to fall for that a second time. Voting a third party, and if there isn't a clear winner, and it does go to the 12th Amendment, it's the Republicans who get to make the choice. So why do you think that they're encouraging those third party candidates? Why is it that the news media is spending so much time talking about the third party candidates and giving them a lot of airtime? Giving them opportunities to share their points of view, no matter how outlandish they might be. Because there are some that desperately want to believe in something that maybe one of these guys is offering. Are they going to be able to deliver on it? Probably not. But if I can convince you just for that one day, for that one vote, that maybe that third party guy is the guy that you should vote for, my job is done. My job is done. And I get to choose who gets to be president because I have the slightest of majorities. So ask yourself, why is Mike Johnson defending George Santos? Why is he saying, let's be reasonable, I'm not convinced, and all that kind of stuff? Is it because he really, truly believes that George Santos isn't guilty of all the things he's been accused of? No, not at all. That doesn't matter to him. George Santos is a vote. It's a Republican vote. So, looking down the road, I may need his vote. I may have a slim majority. And because I have a slim majority, I have to hang on to every single one. I have to justify every single bad action of every single bad Republican. Because my focus is on the long term. My focus isn't on today or tomorrow. My focus is November 2024 and what happens after that. So do a little bit of digging. Take a look at the 12th Amendment in the Constitution. Take a look at the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. When these third-party candidates are being highlighted, or when you're being told that really, you know what, it's in the words of someone near and dear to me, it's a shit sandwich. The only difference is the condiments you put on it. So when they try to convince you that don't go out there and vote, the lines, oh my God, the lines, it's going to be days you're going to be in line. You have to drive for an hour and a half just to get to the polling station closest to you. Like, really, come on, does it matter? It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. There's a reason that the Republicans want you to stay home. There's a reason that they're going to encourage you to vote for that third-party candidate. And it's not because they really care about you. It's because they want to retain the power. And this is one of the ways that they can retain power, by getting in through the back door. There is no clear winner. Oh my gosh, look, Donald Trump didn't win. And it goes to the House of Representatives. And who do we vote for? We vote for Donald Trump. Yay, we did it. He's our guy. He's our man. And then is not the time for you to dig out your Constitution and say, wait a minute, how did this happen? What went wrong? What happened? How did this happen? That's going to be too late, because you're going to have a leader in power who is absolutely never going to give you a chance to vote again. So there you go. That's why your vote really, really matters. That's why you need to vote blue straight up and down the ticket, from dog catcher to whatever else. Maybe you do think Biden is a little old. Maybe you do think, maybe he doesn't have his finger on the pulse of absolutely everything. But given the alternative, think to yourself, if you knew with a good deal of certainty that this was going to be the last time that you were ever going to have an opportunity to vote for anything ever again, and your choice was Joe Biden or not voting, what would you do? What would you tell your friends to do? What would you tell your family to do? Because that's what's on the line, is your ability, your family's ability, and your friends' ability to ever vote again. Believe me, the Republicans are not going to make the mistake of letting you vote for anyone other than Donald Trump ever again. So that's my view. That's my explanation of the 12th Amendment. Look it up for yourself. Read it for yourself. Know it. Get personal with it. Know what your rights and responsibilities are. And know that you've probably heard, and I know I've said it to you before, this election really counts. This election really counts. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Thank you for listening, and give it some thought. Give it some good thought. And just know that we're here for you. We're here to support you. But if this show goes sideways, there's a lot of you that are going to want to come up here to Canada. And what can I say? Anyway, love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being there. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for your comments. And let me know what you think of that. Let me know what you think of this little plan because I think that I think there's something in it. All right. You all take care. Be good. And I